Go.
Hi ladies, welcome back to workout 1 of a new Commit2Fit program. So we're going to get right involved. Today we have 6 stations. We are doing upper body. We are doing the same style circuit training, so we're going to move through the 6 stations as quickly as possible. I want you to be very careful of form and technique. I'm really going to prompt you on some things today to remind you of making sure we're doing the proper form, execution, so we are getting the intended muscles and we are using them the way that the exercise is meant. So we're going to start out at station number 1. I'm going to show you a couple variations depending on your fitness level. That's where you're going to start. So station number 1 is tricep dips with the bench. So I am going to show you variation 1, which would be more along the lines of a beginner. And the ball wants to come with me. So here I would have your legs bent, and the depth that you're going to go is entirely where you're at, your flexibility, your strength. So as we come down, you want to stay close to that bench. So if I'm a beginner, I may be here, and I'm going to come down. So again, you may only be able to do this. Whatever you can do, as long as those elbows are going back and the bottom is staying close to that bench, that's what you want to do. As you become more intermediate or advanced, you can bring those legs out a little bit more. Again, try to go a little bit deeper, keeping that back nice and close, the elbows going straight back. And if you want to go one further step up and challenge your stability, you can come along with me with the stability ball. Again, same form, keeping that back very close to the bench, the elbows going straight back, and again, the depth of your dip is entirely where you're comfortable. So down, up, down, up. Again, protect your core, nice tight core. Down, up, down, up. Okay, so as you can see, if you're wobbly, but once you get steady, straight up and down. Okay, so we're doing 12 of those. Pick your poison. I've given you a couple options. Once you're down, once you finish that, we're moving over to station number 2, which is an alternating military press with a knee tap. So here we're doing 12 on each side. So pick a weight that's going to be challenging. You're keeping your hand up here. This is going up, pressing up, military press, bringing that knee up. 1, touch. 2, touch. 3, so we are kind of engaging the oblique a little bit in there. So think of that crunch, up, up. Keeping that hand up here will only help you when you're doing your tap and your press up, giving you that steadiness. And once you're done 12 on that side, flip it over, up, touch, up, touch. Keeping your arm at 90 degrees, not letting it drop down, so keeping it up, twist and touch, up, twist and touch. Again, thinking about keeping that core nice and tight, up, twist and touch, up, twist and touch. For some of us who may not have that mobility or flexibility, you can just up and twist, okay? So don't think of it as always having to touch your knee, but if you can, that's great, or just up and doing that motion. As long as you're incorporating that oblique and keeping that at 90 degrees the whole time, whether you're up and you come down, you're really going to fire up those shoulder muscles, and you should feel them. So 12 on each side. So moving to station number 3, it's cable crossover with the Smith machine. So here, this is a nice one for the back. We haven't done this one before with my group, so this is going to be new. I want you to take your time to get used to it and think of the mind and muscle connection with this one because it is a little different. Also, remember when you use the Smith machine, you have to have your weights balanced on each side. So if I have 2.5 pounds on this side, I have to have 2.5 pounds on that side. If I have 5 pounds on this side, I must again have the equal amount of weight on each side so the pulley will move together. So keep that in mind. I know I've noticed some different weights, and that's a no-no when using the Smith machine. You have to have equal amount of weights on each side. So let's get started. Again, you'll be surprised, I'm not doing much weight on this because again, I want to get the movement down. I want you guys to be thinking of pulling the back muscle together when you're crossing over the cables and squeezing, keeping your hands or your arms at that 90 degrees, shoulder height, cross squeeze, 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 each and every time. So here we go, set up, crossing over, and then getting back. I like to be shoulder width apart or hip width apart with my legs so I have a stronger base, but you can do a staggered stance, whatever's comfortable. You can play with that and see where you feel. So here, nice tight core, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Try to think about your form, keeping those elbows up, squeezing each time you come back. Okay, so you really got to concentrate on this one to keep your elbows up and squeezing those shoulder blades together each time. It's a good one, but you have to connect that mind with the muscles you're trying to use and make sure you're not just using your shoulders, but you're squeezing that weight back so you're utilizing the back. Okay, so we're doing 12 of those. Moving on, station number 4 is our skull crusher station. So that one's right here. You have 2 options. Skull crushers is one of my favorite exercises. If done properly, you will feel it. So here, I'm going to show you with the preacher bar. To start, your preacher bar is 22 pounds. Find a good positioning for your hands. Your elbows are only hinging, so your arms will, your upper arms, closest to your shoulder, they are not going to move. From the elbow down is where your hinge point is, and all you're doing, I want your elbows to be nice and close together, hinging back to the top of that forehead and coming up. When you come up, if you bring your elbows out, you are no longer using your triceps. They need to keep together. So when I come up, I am actually, my triceps or my elbows are very close together. And I know that I am using my triceps. What I don't want to see is this. When you come up and your elbows are out here, you are no longer using your tricep. Nice and tight to the top of the forehead, up and down. Get your form correct before you add weight. That is the key. Watch your wrists. You want nice straight wrists, and you want the hinging from the elbow only. Each time you want to feel that tricep engage at the top of the movement. So here, if you wanted to use dumbbells instead, same scenario, you can bring those dumbbells nice and tight together. Again, hinging to the top of the forehead and up. Down, up. Elbows are pointed in, not out on the up movement. If they go out, you are no longer using the triceps. Nice, slow, and controlled each way. We don't power through this move. We slow it down and go through each movement in one fluid movement. So going down to number 5, we're moving over to our seated row. Again, another back exercise. We're going to use the Inspire machine, Again, a new one for us. Throwing this one at you. So again, form's important. I want you to be nice and tight up against here. You can move this seat up and down with a peg on this side. You want to have your legs fairly snug in there. You want to bring your chest here. You want to make sure you have a nice tight core. Again, we're going to use the lower part of these handles. We're going to pull, squeeze those shoulder blades together like you have a pencil, and release. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. So the key to this one is making sure when you're pulling this, you're keeping the elbows in, you're squeezing those shoulder blades together, nice tight core, release. Holding that squeeze for a moment, nice slow release. We aren't moving through this quickly, nice controlled movement on the way in and the way out. Squeeze and release. That's all there is to this one. Make sure you check your weight so you don't try to hurt yourself or you don't hurt yourself when you get on the machine. You should know where you're starting. I would say somewhere between 35 to 50 is a good starting point for most of us. And you can gauge if you can do 10 comfortably, 12, and you feel like you could do a couple more, then you want to increase your weight. If you're struggling at 10, I would stay there for a while. So now we are going to station number 6. It's our bicep variation, or bicep curl variation. So this is a forward and a side. So again, elbows in nice and tight, elbows in nice and tight. This one's going to the side, this one's going to the front. 1. Release, full extension. 2. Release, full extension. 3. So we're doing 12 of these guys on this way. Then we're switching it over. This one goes forward, this one goes to the side. 12. So that's a lot of bicep curls here, ladies. So we want to make sure you pick a weight that's challenging, but a weight that you can pound out 12 on each arm in nice, good form. The key is connecting that elbow to the rib cage and not letting it float off in order to keep that load on the biceps. So once we start doing this, we start taking the load off. So again, here, full extension, here, full extension, nice tight core, shoulders back, and that's it. So those are your six exercises for this round. You're doing a total of 3 rounds. Make sure you warm up before you start and take the time to stretch out those muscles before you finish. I will see you soon for workout number 2. Bye!